Welcome to the Undressing podcast presented by Macy's. I'm
Woohoo!
Lore'l.
And I'm Claudia Jordan.
Yes, and we're about to get undressed, right? Because there's a lot of things that happened this week. So I'm about to zip some things down, let a little things loose. Okay. And
Ooh.
we want to talk about, is it a good idea to ban or restrict social media for people under the age of 18? Now, in Louisiana, the lawmakers recently passed a bill that will ban minors under 18 from signing up to any social media apps or games, not just the apps, without permission of somebody like us, a grown person. You know, with our big age, we're allowed to do anything we want. Now, Utah has already done this. Montana has banned TikTok altogether. You can't even go on TikTok if you live in Montana. Is this a good idea to restrict youth because of the screen time? Because I know sometimes we overdo it. Also, has the family dynamic been ruined? Are families more divided today than before? And was this done by design? Is this like a divide and conquer kind of thing? There's something I ran across on Instagram. I want y'all to hear all about it. We have hot topics this week, right, Claudia?
That's right. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. There was some sad news last week, and we have to get into that and much more. And of course, it goes down in the DMs, L'Oreal's DM. So you don't want
Woo!
to miss that. Mine continue to be sexual harassment type DMs. So maybe if I can read it on this podcast, I will. And stick around. You don't want to miss this. And
What's
then the
that,
Macy's.
Claudia? What don't we
Oh,
want to
you don't want
miss?
to miss the DM. You don't wanna miss
The
the DM
DM.
because the
Well,
DMs go crazy.
Claudia, there is a DM where somebody is going in. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if they're going in on the both of us, just you, just me. I'm not sure, but it has something to do with something that was said on this podcast. All I know is I opened it and I seen curse words, our name, and Brian McKnight. So I was like, okay, let me make sure I
Did Brian
read
McKnight
this.
write you? Was it from him?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't read it. I just kind of like, you know how you scroll through, and I was like, something in here seems like they hate us. Let me bring this to the podcast.
You gotta read the whole thing. Oh, please read it on the show,
I'm gonna
please.
read it. Okay, you just gotta stay. You gotta stay with us for that. So let's talk about Macy's though. Um, but we're gonna address all of that, right? And it's gonna be a mess. it's, gonna, it's gonna be a mess. And guess what? One thing they can't hide is they screen name, they Abby and all that good stuff. We'll come get your ass. I just want to make that clear. We'll pull up. Okay, so anyway, one place we'll pull up to is Macy's. Own your beauty, own your style. Join Macy's and the Trevor Project to give a lifeline of support to LGBTQ young people and now during Pride Month. Happy Pride, y'all. So donate online today. You can round up your Macy's store purchases, which is super easy. You could give a couple extra cents, and donate the extra change up to 99 cents. And the Trevor Project, you'll be supporting life-saving suicide prevention services for LGBTQ young people. And donate today, y'all. You'll learn more if you go on over to Macy's.com/purpose. You'll find out about Macy's commitments and you could commit too. So hopefully we can help some young people out there. Good job, Macy's, because that's something we could definitely get behind. And now let's get into, is it a good idea to ban or restrict young people 18 and older from social media? So I do see these accounts from certain people and they have their baby all over social media. Then you have other people that they like cover the baby's faces. And then you'll see like 10-year-olds and they're dancing and they got full pictures. And then full pages. And then you got other kids that are not even allowed to have TikTok or anything till they're like 16. So it's really preference at this point, right? But then there's
Mhm.
also laws being put into place. Now, in Louisiana, they passed this bill. It said if you're 18, you can't sign up to none of this stuff, right? The bill is wanting to be signed by the governor of Louisiana to make it a law. Now, Utah, they did this. Montana, I told y'all, they banned TikTok in the entire state. Now, with other things children are being exposed to, do you think, Claudia, it's a good idea to shield them from some things like social media, or are they infringing on the minors' rights? Like, is this just like innocent? Should this be something that kids should be able to do?
I'm going to call cap on these governments that are banning TikTok because the reason is they're so concerned about the safety of these kids. These are all in red states that are very pro gun. Y'all refuse to make any changes to your gun laws, but you want to take away TikTok. Make it make sense. If you really cared about kids, okay? If you really cared about kids, you'd raise the age of consent for sex, right? A lot of these red states also have these super young 16-year-old, the age of consent because they're okay with messing with little young kids. They don't make a big deal out of going after these pedophiles. They don't do anything about the gun law, the guns just in the school shootings. But yet you want to worry about TikTok. I just feel like they lie and say it's for the kids. There's nothing worse you can do to a kid than murder them. So I just feel like if they were in line with that across the board, I would believe it more. But
Mhm.
I feel like it is infringing on freedom of speech, and we're getting more and more like some of these countries that we talk trash about. Like before, I remember America was like the land of the free. This should be we're taking more. Should be an in-house decision, parents and kids. It should be a family issue. It shouldn't be a
Mm.
government issue where they impose and say you can't do this until you. I think it's whack. I think it's whack.
FYI, we've never been free. That's a brainwash. That's
Hmm.
to make you think. And don't get me wrong, I understand that there are strict laws in place at other places. You can't even damn hold hands uh, in certain places in different countries. I get that. Land of the free, as we say, you're going to be, is what it should have been. And land of the free if you're white. Land of the, there's a lot of
If you have
stipulations
money,
around that. I do. If you land of the free, if you have money, land of that will set you free if you can pay us enough money. You could do stuff wrong and everything. But I will say this, right? Definitely is something to get you from to look at what's going on for real with everything from the voting rights. Like they'll slide that in and they try to bring back slavery, but then they're banning TikTok, right? So it's just kind of like things that create outrage for no reason. And how do you know that I'm not on TikTok and saying I live in New York? Like, you gonna go in my house and take my phone and be like, I'm in Montana and take me to jail? You're not. But I do think this: social media is detrimental to a lot of things, and it's ruined a lot of things. If you want to limit everybody's usage, I think we should. There are some things on social media that I feel like is brainwashing, even with the fact that me saying, like, Claudia, you saw those new Nikes? And then when I look on social media, every ad is Nike. Like
hmm
it that does attest to something like that, and that can be dangerous for a child. I do think it should be a time limit at least, if you're going to keep them on there. And then it's scary with these people. Like, I know as a grown person, if the comments and stuff could get to me to the point where I'm like really defeated through the day, imagine a child bullying, child molesters that jump in these comments, that go in these DMs. And I know you could put restrictions, but they make fake pages. It is scary because I remember back in the day we had the chat rooms, and
Yeah,
and that was scary enough. But think about now the access that you could get to these people. It's it's scary. It
there's
is
definitely
scary.
there's definitely some pitfalls and some negatives to it. I also am skeptical because the last few election cycles, young people have been really making the difference, and a lot of young people tend to lean more left, more liberal, more democratic. And in these red states, they want to limit the use of social media, where a lot of people are getting the message across about voting and politics and being more involved through social media. So all of a sudden you also have states that want to raise the voting age of youngsters to like 21. They want to stop, they want to make it harder for you to vote through college. So I kind of give a side eye when they say, oh, it's
Hmm.
for the kids. Is it really? Or is it more, is it a bigger thing? Is it a bigger play? Is it kind of getting ready to set up the 2024 election? Because TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat has been very powerful tool for young people to use in getting involved in the political process and getting the word out. Barack Obama is the one that blew it up. he really did a good job with like having a good team to utilize social media, and it really brought the young people out. And now it's not just 70 and 80-year-old white people voting, it's young black and brown kids and that all nationalities. And I don't think the right likes that. So the fact that this is all happening in red states, I look at it as a bigger play. I do. I don't
Yeah,
think they
I
care
mean,
about
that's
kids
true
and sex
too.
trafficking at all.
But they
I don't
really
think they care about
changed
kids.
everything around. Like, even remember when the pandemic happened and you would put up facts where they'll be like, don't get this because da da da, or Dr. Sabi said alkaline vegetables, and they're like, this is not valid information, or they started
Mm-hmm.
taking stuff down. That's what scares me in social media, because it's like you're creating a narrative and you're eliminating anything else or anybody that goes against it. So that's what's kind of scary to me. And that information, like with us, right? You get information out of an encyclopedia back in the day. That was
Mm-hmm.
encyclopedia. Like the internet, who knows? Like I said, the internet as a whole, like forget at to a certain age. I do feel like that this is a distraction. Yes, what isn't at these points? But
Mm-hmm.
the fact of the matter, if we're talking about children and social media, like I would be cautious with my child on social media. I do think like if you look at Blue Ivy Carter and you look at Northwest, there is a big difference. The way the media is talking about this little girl like she's a grown woman, I don't even like that. You know what I mean? Like Blue Ivy doesn't have all that stuff, and she still seems like a little girl to me. And not to say that Northwest isn't, but they're like turning her into like a celebrity. Meanwhile, Blue Ivy is on stage dancing with her mother, and we're still like, oh, little Blue Ivy. Like it's just, I don't know. It's a lot. But when you see her dancing on TikTok with Ice Spice, it looks a little grown, and I just wouldn't want any man looking at my daughter. Like it's scary. I don't know.
But
These
see,
people are
that goes
sick and
back.
disgusting.
It goes back to the difference in parenting, though. You know what I mean? Like my brother has two daughters, and they would control things, and they would be very involved in their kids' lives. You can't just let kids go on there and just do whatever. But I don't think the government should be doing it. I don't think the
Yeah,
government. I
no, the
think it should be
government
the
shouldn't. That's like a parenting thing. You're right. You're right.
yes,
That shit, like they need to worry about guns in schools, and how come these teachers are not getting paid, but you are, and you don't do anything but corrupt government stuff, and not
yeah.
do anything to build up the communities. You worrying about this? That is a
Getting rid
little
of
weird.
TikTok as being your priority is wild to me. You worry
Yeah,
about TikTok. You should be worrying about why we have more mass shootings than days of the year so far in 2023. That's what y'all should be worried
disgusting.
about.
And they're not. They're trying to, like you said, they're putting gun laws into play that allow it to be more people to buy guns and more people to
The,
have guns.
Florida and Texas, like, oh my God, we had another mass shooting. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign a bill to make guns available to everybody now. What?
Like in Georgia. Okay, so let's talk about the family dynamic. Do you think it's been ruined? So, speaking of government, okay, so
Mm.
I came across a post that was on Instagram, and it was about family. I thought it was really interesting. Check it out.
I saw this thing on TikTok where it was like, if you get the woman out of the house and working, then you're going to increase the tax because girls are making more money now. And so they're taxed more. So the governments are making more money. And then you're killing two birds with one stone because now you're separating the man and the wife. So the man has less authority over the wife and they're more separated. They're not as bonded. They're not as close together. And then you also send off your kids to school. So the family is separate. And when the family is independent, the family is not strong. They're easier to control. They're easier to manipulate. And the government makes more money off of it. So the idea of me working really hard, making a bunch of money, keeping my wife at home, keeping us close, and then she's with the kids, she's close to the kids, and she's programming the kids. The government does not like that because the government does not get to push what they want to my kids. For sure. They make less money because my wife doesn't work, and we're just stronger and more resilient towards them. They don't like that. So that's what I've heard.
Makes sense to
So,
me.
you think so? We've been programmed to have like these two household incomes. Do you think it's by design?
Well, maybe. Um, it's definitely not helping the people. Look how unhappy everybody seems like, and people. I wish to see more of those family units, strong family units, producing healthy, mentally stable children, happy wife, happy husband. It seems like everyone's miserable. They're on drugs. They're going to do mass shootings. They're committing suicide. We're in a weird place, and I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how the government does benefit from that, but we the people gotta take our power back. We gotta back to a place where we get back to like the old school values and family units being solid and strong. We're raising daughters that are insecure. There's no dad around. Sons that are weak and feminine, and I just don't see it. We're going down a bad path, I think.
But that's why I do think things like the social media thing is important. You got to be careful what you're pouring into your mind and your children's mind as well, right? Because the whole point of divide and conquer is because something has to get programmed in your mind that this is right and this is wrong. So if me, the parent, is teaching you that this is right, and then you go to school and learn that this is right, that means I'm wrong and now you're against me. So that's how you break
Hmm.
up the household no matter what. So, like, for instance, me and my mother got into an argument over the vaccination. Right now, that's because I'm being taught one thing and she is learning another. She knows from church is this. I know from this is that. I know from speaking to Dr. You get what I'm trying to say? Who's right? But we both have
Right.
views on certain things, and it's like, if had maybe my mind not been over here and hers over, we would be on the same page, right? So that's the
Hmm.
whole thing. The family is supposed to be together no matter what the decision is. So even if they're all wrong, this is just the family. The family moves together as a unit. This is, you get what I'm trying to say? That's it. So when you're all in different places, you're all in different mindsets, you're all in different, that it is a division. And then as far as when it comes to making less, because the government is making less, right? But they charge everything so expensive, so they're forcing you out of the home. So those days where the wife could stay maybe home and teach the kids instead of sending them off to school that teaches them almost nothing that they need to know, besides social skills, but you can learn that amongst cousins. If you have a big
Hmm.
enough family. So that's what I'm saying. There's so many things. Because what are you teaching in the schools right now that, or what can I remember being taught in the schools that I'm still utilizing to this day? It's not a lot. They should have taught us taxes and how to do our taxes. They should have taught us how to build a business. We shouldn't have had to wait until college to learn this stuff. This is common stuff that you need to know just as a citizen of the United States. So it should be taught to you young. Instead, you're set up for fail. So it's kind of like these things that they're pushing in your mind is molding your children. And you get what I'm trying to say, instead of yourself.
The whole school system program needs to be totally revamped. I mean, we spent time talking about a goddamn isosceles triangle, okay, or
That's what I'm
a
saying. That's crazy.
rectangle or whatever. But then you get out of school and it's like, okay, how do I balance a checkbook? What's
No,
interest?
what do you
What's
really learn? What do
what's
you learn?
credit?
You learn how to be in a system, right? You know what school could get you really prepared for? You ready for this? Jail. You know how I
And the
know?
military.
Out
And the
in the
military.
military, because how is it not the same? That bell ring, you get up, you go to the next thing, you go to mess hall, you're holding the tray. It's the same thing. You're being conditioned to be inside. And then remember when they took recess away? Don't talk about that. That's jail. Look at the same thing. You're in jail. So that's what they're designing us to do. Everything they want us to do. I don't see nothing wrong with what this man is saying. And you can't be. It has to be a two income household because you can't afford for it to be one. So you and your wife are
Yeah.
always going to be on different pages because she's stressed out and trying to raise the kids. You still thinking she's supposed to just be raising the kids, but she working a full job. You get what I'm trying to say? Like
Then
and
she
it's
can't be
always
soft
gonna
and tend to she can't be soft and tend to your sexual needs. You're frustrated. You go cheat on her. You have a side baby. Now you have a whole nother issue. There's a whole bunch of stuff
because
going
there's
on.
extra women out there. Anyway, so
That too.
anyway, so whatever he said, I get what he's saying. We have been being programmed. And do you think we are losing the traditional family dynamic? Like, how can we get that back? Can we ever get that back? Or is this just it?
I think it's a pendulum, like the 70s and the 50s and 40s, they were really conservative. Then we swung all the way around 70s and 80s and we were like wilding out. Then 90s we came back conservative and here we are now in the 20s wilding out again. I think we hit a rock bottom and there's no other place to go but the other direction. I pray because I'm tired of how we are in a race to the bottom and how disgusting society has become and humans are just being disgusting right now. We're in a disgusting era right now. I'm over it. Aliens, come get
Yeah.
me.
You better be careful what you ask for, okay? Anyway, so let's get into some hot topics. One, oh my God, my boy, man, YFN Lucci, this my guy. He's gonna be heading to trial. I hope everything goes well for him. He rejected a plea deal. The DA recommended 20 years for a guilty plea. YFN Lucci decided to take it to trial and not take that plea deal for 20 years. So he's been in jail now for 2.5 years. And yeah, basically he's saying like there's no proof that that was him in the car that did that. And basically he's accused of um so they're saying that there was a shooting. He was in the car. This is allegedly, and that somebody in the car with him got shot. Apparently, that person died. So someone in the car threw the person out of the car. They're saying that
Oh my God.
person was YFN Lucci. That's what the reports are saying. That a witness is saying that they saw it be him. But that's the only evidence they have on him is a witness that's saying that, he did it. So he's like I said, been in jail for 2.5 years. Now, on the flip side, you have like Gunna, who said, yeah, this is what it is. I'm gonna take a plea and this is what it is. And everybody called him snitch and this is that and the third. So now with YFN Lucci, he's going to trial. He's gonna fight them. He's saying that's not me. I did not do this and I'm coming home. What listen, if the plea is 20, that means if he loses, he's gonna get a long ass time. Because if the plea is 20,
That's
what is
not a good
it?
position. I really can't speak much on this because I'm 50, so I haven't been following this like that. But was it one witness that said they saw him shoot someone in the car, or was it more than one
I
witness
just
that
know
said?
that they have witness. I'm not 100% sure if it's more than one. And I don't think he knows either. That's like the whole point of trial, right? You don't find that out until you actually go to trial.
But he must
So
be really adamant about it if he was willing to turn down. Well, the plea that's not a good plea. 20 years. I would probably roll the dice
I
and
don't
take my
think that's a
chances and
good
hope I
plea
can get
either. Yeah, but there's
now.
people
And
that
he's already
spoke
been
out
two.
for him. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying he's been there for 2.5 years, so he must be pretty adamant about sticking to his guns. Well, I hate to use that word, but sticking to his guns about this. So I hope he is innocent. But who did it? Who did it? The person
I
that is
mean,
the
shoot,
witness?
it wasn't me. I don't know. Like, I don't look. If I ain't did it, I don't care who did it. It wasn't me. You get what I'm trying? Somebody did it, but it wasn't me.
Here's my
Like, I
thing:
shouldn't know who did it either.
if I didn't do it, and if I'm in the car and someone got killed in the car and it wasn't me, forget all this no snitching thing. Snitching that's not the right definition
How
of
you know
snitching.
I
Snitches
was in
you
the
do it.
car?
I'm saying he was in the car with them, right? And someone got killed and he
That's how
got
you
thrown
know I
out,
was
right?
in the car. That's what I'm saying. He didn't get caught in the car. They're saying he was in the car. Like, it's not
And
like the
he's saying,
cops pulled the car over. They're saying that they seen him throw the person out the car, but I think the car was in his name or something. I'm not sure. I don't know the
yeah.
details. I'm not even going to lie to you. I think the details are all going to come out in court. It's just kind of like this what is it? YWM Melly. They accused it's another kid that's on trial actually right now. And they're accusing him of killing his two best friends. And he's been sitting for quite some time. They said he did a song about it and did a video about it afterwards. But there's so many things that's all they said, right? Just like with this case, it's kind of like they're accusing Lucci of throwing his body out. But then we didn't find anything out till now. The trial's going
Mhm.
down for YW. Well, let me get the letters right because it's too many. I'm old too now because it's too many letters. YWM, I think it is. YWM, yeah. YNW.
All I know is
That's not funny.
YMCA. I know the
Okay.
YMCA.
It's YNW Melly, okay? And now the details are coming out with him. Another rapper is now involved. And they're saying, like, he picked him up, but he didn't know about it. It's crazy. But Like, imagine like being accused of killing your two best friends and you're saying you didn't do it, but now they got all this evidence that's like, oh, he sent a Snapchat that said it's done, like that was deleted. And it's like they're finding all these things. And like, I wouldn't have thought that they could find a deleted Snapchat message. You know what I mean? Like, but you never know the evidence that they have. But if they're going to trial, just know on both sides they feel strongly about whatever case they have. So hopefully Lucci did not do this and he will be back on these streets. And if not, may God bless his soul. So let's move on and talk about Joseline, man. How long is she gonna be on these streets? She beat
She needs to
everybody
be
up.
in jail.
Yeah, she beat
Jocelyn
everybody
needs to
up
be
at
in
the
jail.
Floyd Mayweather fight. I mean, think about it though. This has been since remember the other show she did where she was fighting the girls? It was
Yes.
her own show, Joseline's Cabaret.
Cabaret. Yeah. I'm tired of her. I'm no Jocelyn fan, and I've made no secret about it. She's a pretty girl. She's funny as hell. And there's Lexi. You know our friend Lexi.
I was about to say, well, now everybody see her titties.
I'm not in a lesbian relationship. We're splitting a
Yes,
room,
you
and we're here
are.
at this event at the White House. We're going to the Juneteenth party today.
Oh yeah, are you?
It looked like it because you have a sports bra on and their hair's
I
wrapped. So
know.
I
It
don't know.
looks like
It
Queen.
looked
It's
like it
giving
did.
Queen Latifah.
It's giving set it off.
It's giving Chloe entanglement. Okay. What you say now?
Okay. Uh, I'm just not here for Jocelyn and her shenanigans. I think she's a waste of a funny, pretty person. She's an attractive woman when she has a mouth shut. She's funny and she's charismatic, but the bullying stuff and the beating people up, like you have a daughter now. I was really hoping that motherhood would really change her into less of an animal, but I think she just behaves like that. And y'all can come for me if you want to for calling her that, but I don't know what else to call this woman. Fighting all the time, allegedly coked out, just violent all the time. Like this is the image you're pushing. But she gets rewarded for it constantly. So why would she stop? Why would she stop? Now the fight with the girl one on one, whatever the reason was for y'all fighting, whatever. But when other people got involved, including men,
What was the reason? I didn't know the reason.
I think Big Lex was online talking trash to Jocelyn. Like she had some words for her. She definitely did. I'm not going to take that away from her. She was like, pull up, pull up. I got a guy
She
for
was
your
saying that she
guy.
wanted to fight her.
She's like, I got a guy for your guy, and like it'll be even. And then when she goes to a Zeus event with Jocelyn with no security, which I didn't think that was the best idea. Of course, Jocelyn is gonna see her, and the cameras are rolling. Why would she not do something? This is Jocelyn's brand to make people bleed and to fight.
Yeah, I do.
What do you think about it?
So I do think that when people act like this, that they shouldn't be allowed on television shows. I think the narrative should be changed when it comes to Black, Hispanic women, whatever the case, women of color, and it shouldn't be that we fight and act crazy. And I really blame College Hill because you knew what you were doing when you got her on the show. I know they probably hyped her up, the producers. Let's act like they didn't play a part, the production company. I'm confused at how like people, and I know you don't get along with this woman, but I mean, I'm just gonna say Nene. Like how you can make Nene look like such the worst person, and all she does is argue, and then you have.
Well, no, she took a hit at that cameraman who said supposedly his tooth was knocked out. But she's nowhere near the level of Jocelyn. I get what you're saying.
I've never seen her fight no other black woman or a woman of color or even a white woman on television.
It's been her
Not to
words.
say that it's okay for her to hit a man or anything, but I just don't know about that situation. But Jocelyn is a repeated offender and constantly puts her hands on people. And this is not the first time. This is not going to be the last time. And I think it is rewarded, like you said, when you put it on the forefront, you put it on a pedestal, you constantly promote it, you put it on the blog, and she's going to continue to get money for putting her hands on people until maybe somebody is tired of using hands, or maybe they get so scared because they don't use hands that they use a weapon. And then, I mean, what are people going to be saying then? Because you're kind of putting her in a position to do this and glorifying it. So I think it's disgusting. If I have to fight ever again, hopefully it'll just be because it's for my life. And you get what I'm trying to say? I never would want to just be walking down the street and be like, oh, time to fight. Like, I just feel too old for that.
And it's like, at what point, like, listen, people disrespect us all the time. Okay, me and you we catch a lot of disrespect online for being
I
opinionated
mean, not
women
to
that
my face, though. I will say that,
no, of
like,
course not to our faces, but they do it. And so Joseline is like, she's so reactionary, and I think people that have low emotional EQs, they
she
react to every.
disrespects people more than she gets disrespected.
Oh, I know that. I'm not listen. I am not defending
Yeah.
nobody's
No,
Joseline
but what I'm
Hernandez, but
saying is she can't use that as an excuse, is that she felt disrespected because she constantly disrespects people.
right. No, she's very disrespectful. My point is, at some point, Joseline, you're now a mother. You are now a mother. You have a young, cute little girl that looks up to you. That's gonna be that she's, you have custody of that kid now after having some issues before. So with that being said, I'm not talking bad about your kid. I'm just saying you have more at stake now. So maybe try not to be so reactionary and stop being so disrespectful to others. And then you also having to meet every disrespectful thing or every comment with a fight. It's played. And I'm surprised that people still eat this shit. I'm surprised that people still eat this stuff up. Are y'all not tired of seeing Black women fighting? I will say this now. You mentioned Needy and the housewives.
All our life
With the
we had to fight.
with the exception of Portia, who got violent several times on the show, for the most part, what made that show great was funny shade that never went violent. It was just
Yeah.
like across the table with a glass of wine. Oh well, you did this, and you'd be like, ooh, ooh. It never really got too many times to the point of throwing hands. Now we take Joseline, any little thing, looking at her crazy,
But that's what
and you
I'm
go from zero
saying.
to
Like, if
100.
you're the greatest at this, and Nene will deem herself like one of the greatest at reality TV, it's for your words. It's
It's
not
for your
this.
word.
If we talking about, go be a boxer, Joseline, please, because
Yeah,
clearly this is not a fair situation because you're a boxer
MMA.
going against people that are using their mouth.
I told when I hosted the couple of reunions for Zeus, and when I did the Bobby I Love You Per reunion, I made a statement at the end of
Love
the
him.
show, and I was like, "Listen, y'all, I was really looking forward to when the first gay people of color dating shows, and I think a lot of y'all fumbled the bag by making this about fights." I said when I did reality, no one really remembers. It ain't about the fights. It's about the one-liners that you get off, the clever things that you say that goes on a t-shirt that makes you trend. A fight at this point is so common. It's not even like it's not even like, ooh, that was so interesting. It's low-hanging fruit. You're acting like cavemen and animals. That is not that doesn't take anyone smart or brilliant to fight. But when you get someone together with their words and that shit is funny and memorable, they're gonna remember you. People still say, "Who gonna check me, boo?" People still quote
Yeah.
from Sheree. They still quote Nene, "Oh, child, the ghetto." They still quote Kenya. Don't come for me unless I send for you. They don't repeat. They don't keep talking about the fights. They don't. You don't really hear about
No.
when
And when they
Portia jumped
do,
on
it's
top
in
of
the
Cynthia.
embarrassment of it, and it's disgusting.
And the
It's just,
Jocelyn fights
let's
all
stop.
running together. And I'm just like, go back to using your words, please. But
Yes.
Jocelyn don't have words. She can barely speak. So there
Because
you
I
have it.
will always remember you are a non-mother factor before I even remember what the fights and I
Exactly.
hate when it gets to the fighting parts. Like, it's like, all right, it's not
It's
even.
embarrassing.
It is
It's
embarrassing,
embarrassing.
just like with the whole situation, like we said, with College Hill. All right, so yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. I am gonna read this DM really quickly, though. I wasn't going to, but I mentioned it, so why not? So as I'm reading it really quickly, it's actually all just nasty towards me.
Really?
Yeah, so it's about the Brian McKnight situation, and you listen to any the past episodes, you know that we said something about you and him and how he told you the questionnaire. He wanted you to fill out the 50 questionnaire and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. So we got to talking about him and his kids, and Brian McKnight Jr. just recently spoke out because people were telling him to change his name, and he's like, "No, that's my son's name too. Like, what do I look like changing my name because my dad ain't do what he's supposed to be doing?" So anyway, here goes. Brandon D, his name is Journey to Reality 2, which we often never say the names, but since he has so much to say, why not? So he goes, at starring Lore'l, shut the F up. Now, mind you, this is so funny because I just want to say that last episode, we talked a lot about race and um, we talked a lot about race. And so he said, shut the F up. You don't know a goddamn thing about Brian McKnight's kids, calling them ungrateful turds, which I never said that. Did I ever say that?
No, you never said
Absolutely
that.
never said that. I was actually defending the
Yeah.
kids and said that he was wrong because how can
Yes.
you just go turn around and make another child named Brian McKnight? So therefore, you're an idiot that doesn't listen. He said, shut the F up, you Hispanic B. You're not black, bitch. Shut the F up. Your voice is
Yeah.
annoying. Brian
Okay.
McKnight is an abuser. You're trying to defend him. Again, are we talking about the same
What
Lore'l?
show was he listening to? What show was
Why
it?
are you talking about black issues, you bitch?
Mm.
Annoying bitch. Okay.
Mm.
Well, thank you. Why are you listening to my podcast if you don't like me
If
or my
my
voice?
voice annoys you so much, why would you do this to yourself? So Brian, is his name Brian? What's his name?
His name is Brandon.
Brandon, you
Brandon
make bad
McDyke. No, don't take that out.
Brandon, you make bad decisions. I don't like cigarettes. So guess what? I stay away from them at all costs. I don't like crack. So I don't go around crack houses. I don't like roaches. So I don't put myself in position to be around roaches. If you don't like the voice, the silky smooth, soothing voice of Miss Lore'l, starring Lore'l from The Morning Hustle and many other shows, then maybe you are the dumbass for putting yourself in position to be around something you can't stand so much.
Come on now. You
Maybe
had to
you.
go and search the show to listen to it, okay? You damn loser. And then you went on my social media to further enjoy me. I just want to say you're a loser and you need help. Seek help immediately. We're going to get out of here. The Undressing Room podcast. Make sure y'all rate, review, subscribe. Claudia, where can they follow you at?
On social media, on Instagram, I'm mostly on there at Claudia Jordan. And go to my Facebook page, Claudia Jordan, the real Claudia Jordan. I'm actually gonna start building that audience and go live more often because you can get a nice check over there at Facebook. So please come over to my Facebook. We're gonna go live more often.
And you can follow me at Stupid Hispanic Bitch.
That's what I call you. That's how I have you saved in my phone, Lore'l. Stupid Hispanic bitch.
Loser. Oh my God. Definitely a black woman. So be clear when you talk to me. Call me a stupid black bitch if you or a mixed one, you know. Anyway, you can follow me at starring Lore'l, StarringLore'l. And we're gonna get out of here. Let me put my blazer back on, my hoodie, and put my hood up and go to this dude's hood and set it off like Cleo, like you, Cleo, right?
Yeah, I'm apparently I got Cleo in my room right now.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Undressing Room podcast.
Bye.